happening, huh? Zoom. But anyways, it will be in the live, in the YouTube live. Shouldn't be a problem. You see, this sun, keeps going around like this. Right? This is one facet. This Aryabhatta is saying, staying here in Pataliputra, he's talking about all these facets. Now, you all said the sun is rising in the east. That also can be challenged, correct? Let's go back to Hyderabad. Sun is rising and setting, let us say. I'll pause the time. I'll go to today. In our date and time mission, I'll go to today. But I'll go to today morning 5 or 6:30. Okay. 6:30, let us say. I'm going to. And slowly, if I run the time, sun is coming now. And it is coming when? What is the time? Time is around, okay. Around 6:55, the sun is rising, right? And it is coming. But is it rising in the east? Not really. It's not rising in the east, right? The sun is not really rising in the east. If I now shift every day, now the date is 28th one, same 7:15 a.m. Okay, I'll pick the same 7:15 a.m. and I'm looking at sun. Same place, same time, I'm looking at sun. Same time, same place. Okay. In Hyderabad, I picked one place. I'm going to every day look at sun at the same place, same time. If I keep jumping dates, what's happening? Every day, you see, on the 17th of February, sun is here. On the 17th of January, sun was here. 17th of February, sun jumps here. And daily, it keeps moving. In 20th of April, sun is there at 7:15 a.m. And it goes all the way and then it returns back. What is this called in our tradition? You all know this very well. This northern run of the sun and the southern run of the sun.
It's called Uttarayana and Dakshinayana.
We have the Uttarayana and
Dakshinayana.
Yes. Gomati ji was saying that this is Uttarayana and Dakshinayana, which means there are certain equinoctial days, right, where the sun seems to be rising in perfect east. Till then, it was not rising in perfect east and it is dancing across. See, on this March, 21, right, this sun is rising here. And then it is going up like this, in this direction. Then when you come to September 21, right, again if you see, right, sun is rising in perfect east. Okay. September 22, rising in perfect east. Right. So these are equinoctial days. All these Uttarayana, Dakshinayana, the time when it will start, what will happen, all these are well documented in the Indian tradition. Very careful observation of the sky. And that is why you need a trigonometry, right? You draw an arc length, you draw a chord to this. The length of this chord will tell you what angle it is, correct? See, how will you measure angles? You remember in trigonometry, I showed you chords that will show the angle. So knowing the length of the chord, you can know the arc length. That is called sine inverse function today. This is called Chapa Karma in the Indian tradition. So you will keep a triangular, observatory and beautifully draw this. Okay. So now I hope it is clear. Be it sunrise, sunset, moonrise, moonset, starrise, starset, everything happens for particular latitudes. In other latitudes, it doesn't happen like that. That is why he says that Anuloma Gatir Naustaha Pashyatyachalam Vilomagam Yadvat. He's saying that. So if I'm sitting on a boat, and if I were traveling on this boat, when I go forward, things seem to be coming back, right? Anuloma Gatir Naustaha Pashyati Achalam Vilomagam Yadvat. So too, Achalani Bhani Tatvat. So too, the unmoving stars, seemingly they rise and set. And they have a uniform motion, westward motion, uniform motion. One day they are not fast, one day they are not slow. A uniform motion. Samapaschima Gani Lankayam. For someone on, so Lanka does not mean Sri Lanka, it means a point on the equator. Lanka is a point on the equator. When you are on the equator, everything will perfectly rise and set in the, it will go perfectly in the same arc. In Hyderabad, visa, sun was rising east and going slightly slantwards. Okay, but if you are on equator, it will perfectly go up and then set down like this without going to equator. He's saying this, right? Amazing. So these kinds of mathematical prowess, astronomical prowess we had, observatories we had built, Jantar Mantar, and simple, beautiful observatories we have had. These are all some among the powers, the Indian tradition. Udayastamaya nimittam nityam pravahena vayuna kshiptaha. Okay. All this we have had. He's saying that this happens, and this propelling, like the framework of reference. So we know now how to see the rotations effect, right? Earth has two motions. What is the other motion? What is the other motion that the Earth has?
Revolution.
Revolution, right? So this revolution, how will we know the revolution now? How can we observe the sky and see there is a revolutionary motion for Earth? It is tough to say that. But it will look like other celestial objects are revolving. You would have heard the word graha, right? You would have heard the word graha. Graha means planet, they would have translated. But bad translation. Graha means grinhati gati visheshan iti graha. What is that? We will see now shortly. But before that, let me show you something else. Okay. Can you all see this? So now the Earth, if you carefully see the Earth has a tilt. It is not perfectly 90 degrees with respect to its orbital. Its orbital is like this, but we are tilted in this orbit around the sun, correct? So we have a tilt. And this tilt causes all our... So if we go around like this, right, throughout the year, if we go around, there will be some time when this tilt does not matter. The tilt certainly does not matter. How much light the northern and the southern hemisphere receive. They will receive equal amount of light. Then if you continue, there will be a time when the northern tilt is more closer to the sun and the southern tilt is not so close to the sun. And that's why we see this Uttarayana, Dakshina. So for an observer here in the latitude, he will see the sun to be rising to his north of east. Right? All these today I have to explain with an animation, but people wrote it in verses. They wrote this in songs. They taught this very carefully to children earlier. These kind of sound sciences were part of our educational model. Quite brilliant and amazing. Okay. Now, another question. Very, very wonderful question. And very, wonderful thinking on part of the Indian astronomers. Okay. So how will I know I have finished 1 year going around the sun? How will I know I have come back to the same place? One revolution around the sun is called 1 year, correct? So if I revolve around the sun, I have come back to the same place. How will I know that? Any guesses?
Climatic changes.
Sorry, ma'am. Good guess. What were you saying? Could not hear. What were you saying, ma'am? Okay. See, how will we know we have come back to the same place? This is a very...
We have the tithis and the months and all, right? The minute you finish that Falguna, Bahula Amavasya and come to Chaitra Shuddha Padyami, you know that the earth has completed one revolution and has come to that particular time, right?
That is how the calendar would say, but why?
Mm.
Good answer, ma'am. That's how calendar say. So the principle is this: how was the calendar designed? Is the question. The calendar is designed by Indian astronomers, right? How has it?
Yes.
How has it been designed? Is that, see, if I want a circular motion, if you make one child go around in a classroom, you make one person stand in the center. And if the child goes around in the classroom, I must know how he has come back to the same place, how he will know. He will look at the floor and he will check if he has come back to the same place. In a circular
Exactly.
orbit, I will not know if I come back to the same place and have completed 1 year. Hence, I should see the background of the sun. So if I was here, I will see a different background. If I was here, I will see a different background behind the sun. Now, if I was here, I will see a different background. Correct? Behind the sun, what is there? It will change. And if I come back to the same place, now I know the original earlier background, what was here has come. So that is how we started looking at the Rashi chakras. So how do we do that? For that, let's go to one more simulation. For that, we should know the background. Okay. So what I'm going to do is, for the purpose of this, simulation, what I will do is, I will remove the atmosphere. Okay. And we will see. If there is atmosphere, it will be tough to see what is in the background, because in the background, there are many stars. Okay. If we come to today and come to morning, 5 a.m. Okay, let's go to 7. Sun has risen up. And which Rashi is Sun in right now? The background of the Sun is seemingly in the Makara Rashi. Correct?
Yeah.
If I remove the atmosphere, you will be able to see the Sun is in the Makara constellation. The background of the Sun I am seeing right now. The background of the Sun I am going to see right now. Now, if I go in time, if I jump dates, today 27th, Sun is here. If I keep jumping, okay, if I keep jumping, see, around mid-February, around mid-Jan, Sun entered Makara. So we celebrated Makara Sankranti. Then it exits around the mid-February. Do you see 14th of February? It has exited Capricorn and it is entering Aquarius or the Kumbha Rashi. So this is how the Rashi Chakra system came to be. The Rashi Chakra is the path that the sun apparently goes through in a year. For an observer, it will look like the background of the sun is changing. Okay. It will look like the background is changing. Now it has come into Meena Rashi or Pisces. Then from there, it will go to Mesha. It is during Mesha, when it's in Mesha that we will celebrate various New Years, be it the lunar calendar or be it in solar calendar. Close to that time where the moon is, lunar calendar will dictate that. In the Amanta system, where your new year month and will start with a new moon, you will celebrate then. Like that in a Sauramana system, in the sun-based system, you look for the sun's position and celebrate. So this, for example, now Rishabha Rashi, right? So now the Prayagraj, how will you determine you want to celebrate an event in Prayagraj Mahakumbh? Now the Jupiter must come to Rishabha Rashi and the sun must be in the Makara Rashi. Then only you will celebrate this particular event. When you look at, I'm sorry, Shailajaji, you are annotating. I think I should remove the permission to annotate. Kindly do not annotate. I'm not able to quickly remove the permission. So this kind of aspect, right? Throughout the sun. See, if I enable the background, all this, how will we see? For me, every day the sun is moving here, there, correct? That is how it looks like. In that position, it is rising. But we carefully observe the background of the sun when you can't even see behind it. By carefully understanding when the Purnima Tithi is happening, 180 degrees away would be the sun. Knowing some of these facets, knowing the moon, we determine the position of the sun based on the reflection of the light from the moon. And we carefully calculated many of these things. Unbelievable, ingenious Indian astronomers. Then it goes into the Karka Rashi. So that's why, from the Kataka Rashi time on, there is Dakshinayana. Then comes Simha. Nowadays, from Mithuna itself, the Dakshinayana starts. Then comes Kanya, Virgo. Then comes Tula. Then the sun seemingly enters Tula. Then Vrishchika. Then Dhanu. Then again we are back to Makara. That exactly 1 year we have now completed. We have come to 27. Same 27th of the next year, 2026. Then it will come back to the same background position. So like this, we designed an astronomical system. That way, when you are born, what are they trying to do? They are trying to do the geospatial timestamp. They are trying to give a timestamp. Where are the different planets? What is the background of the different grahas? And why are they calling them grahas? Grinhati gati visheshan iti graha. It takes a vishesha gati, vishesha motion. All other celestial objects will rise and set. But these alone, these moving objects alone, they will have a background. In the background, it will keep changing of those stars. All this they have studied carefully in the Indian tradition. And hence they created a framework of reference. Okay. And using this framework of reference, they said that if I go around, what background do I see around in the celestial sphere? How do I determine? Right? And this tilt, or they understood, Indian astronomers measured this tilt to be 24 degrees. Today it's 23.5. In fact, it oscillates from 22.5 degrees to 24 degrees. It keeps oscillating. So these are some among the facets that Indian astronomers have taught. And these, like in math, astronomy, we had some time to at least get a glimpse of how complex our math has been, how advanced our math has been, how amazing our even foundational education in math has been, how amazing it has been, in astronomy. Similarly, in chemistry, metallurgy, if you take different fields, Indian knowledge systems has played a foundational role in this society. It not only advances the civilization's collective knowledge, but also by kindling the wisdom to lead lives towards the fulfillment of Purusharthas. You would have already seen the Purushartha framework. So Indian knowledge systems is designed such that you can certainly incorporate many of this into your life, your calendar, your vrata, everything you are doing it on, particular period. You are waiting for that particular period. If you want to celebrate Ramanavami, it must be the Shukla Tithi. What is Tithi? Tithi is 12-degree movement of moon with respect to sun. Okay, 12-degree movement of moon with respect to the sun. That is considered a Tithi. Okay. These are all superb facets that we have had in the Indian tradition. I'll show you an animation for Tithi also, so that you can better understand. See, every day, what happens in a Tithi? Every day, now let us say this is the Shashti Tithi, day 6, lunar day 6. Sun is here, moon is here. Carefully observe the moon. After 1 day, everything is rising and setting that we have established. Anuloma gatirnaustaha pashyatyachalam vilomagam yadvat achalani bhani tatvat samapashchimagani lankayam. Aryabhata has told, we have appreciated that. After a day, you see the angular separation between sun and moon is increasing for the observer. Now it's becoming wider angle. Now this angle is still wider with every day. Now it's even more wider. Same 2 p.m. Same place, same sky. Okay, now you can't even see the moon. So you have to go. Right? Every day, 6 p.m. Further, further, further away. And then finally Purnima comes. Why is that happening? See, it's happening like this, correct? It's happening like this. The sun is here, and this is what we see. This is the outer space view. This is the what we see in the sky. Out of what we see in the sky, through Anumana, through inference, careful inference, you have to model the Panchanga. Very tough. Exceptional mathematical precision. Too good a knowledge system. We are missing out right now in the education. You see, every day, if I rotate, the moon has moved a little bit in its orbit. Next day, the moon has moved a little bit in the orbit. Moon moves little more in the orbit. But for someone who's standing on Earth, you will see sun here and then moon there. Right? Next day, moves. Next day, it moves further. And then goes all the way. Every day, it keeps, for me, day and night goes. But for the moon, it keeps revolving around the Earth. And in about some 15 and odd days, it's exactly opposite to. So while I am spinning, if I'm spinning, the sun will set, the moon will rise. Next day, if I spin, sun will rise and set, the moon will then rise. So like this Tithi means 12-degree angular separation, multiples of 12-degree angular separation between moon. And Prathama means 0 to 12 degrees. Dvitiya means 12 to 24 degrees if the angular separation between sun and moon is. You see our calendars, they will tell which moment that Tithi is changing. These are very, very ingenious, knowledge systems that we have had. And this is how we have been carefully, presenting many of these aspects. And this has impacted our lives also. As I said, in Bharat, it is dharma sapeksha vijnana. Whatever dharma you're following, along with it, vijnana was there. It was not dharma nirapeksha vijnana. It was no science versus Idu was not there. So it was interconnected into our lives. And the very pursuit of IKS, it led to advancing the civilization's collective knowledge. And it kindled to lead lives towards attaining fulfillment through Purusharthas. Similarly, there is plenty to draw from rich wisdom of India's way of life and knowledge traditions to inspire a global movement in education. We can blend Indian philosophies at the heart of the framework that inform principles of education. Two, we can bring out unique pedagogical approaches like some of the things that we saw today and bring about wholesome and context-appropriate development. Today, we don't even teach children to view the sky, how to view it, how to view the moon, what is it telling about the angular difference. If you see the moon's face in itself, the kala, amsha kala itself, you'll be able to say what is the angle between the sun and moon. Similarly, content that is representative of Indian ethos, mindset, practices, and our rich scientific and cultural heritage. To end it all, Sir C.V. Raman, he observes in 1969, we have, I think, developed an inferiority complex. I think what is needed in India today is the destruction of the defeatist spirit. We need a spirit of victory, a spirit that will carry us to our rightful place under the sun. A spirit which will recognize that we, as inheritors of a proud civilization, are entitled to a rightful place on the planet. If that indomitable spirit were to arise, nothing can hold us back from achieving our rightful destiny. For that, we need as educators to teach our scientific heritage, not just history alone, which is also very important. And scientific heritage, what kind of heritage we come from, is very important to teach. That's why you would see that anaadi.org/IKS books, we have put a lot of books for educators. Now, with IIT Madras, collaborating with IIT Madras, IKS division of the ministry, this weekend, we have launched 40 sets of free videos. All this Tithi, everything is carefully explained. Please go to anaadi.org/IKS primer, you will see. Similarly, go to this website and look at these books, which are all very useful as an educator for you. I'm sure it will be plenty of wisdom that you can do very well. Very thankful for all of you to patiently listening on a sunny afternoon. I'm sure after all things, you are all very concentrated. You have all committed to this training in Indian knowledge system. I'm very thankful for all your passion. More passionate teachers have to absorb many of these and take it forward to our learning communities. Thank you all. Dhanyavadaha. Namaste. We can open up to any questions. Thank you.
Namaste, sir.
Namaste, ji.
It was really a wonderful session, sir. And it was like, you were really telling the richness of Indian knowledge system and the wisdom involved in that. So now, shall we request the participants to who have any questions or queries? They can ask, sir, now. Hello? Participants, if you have any questions or queries, it's open for discussion now.
Namaste, sir. This is Gomti, and this is not a question or query, but this is just a observation that when once you go to, you were mentioning about Jantar Mantar in Jaipur, right? So if you can spend one full day, observing the angles, the movements, and then how the yogam, karanam, and all that has been calculated using the protractor and all, your discussion, all that you have explained today would make sense. Because I had the visual of that in front of my eyes. I was actually visualizing. And the minute you were talking about 12 degrees and movement and go back and come front, all those things, I was actually having that in front of my mind. So
Sir,
that
we are
is
not able
very
to
nice.
hear you, sir.
Yes. No, you're absolutely right, ma'am. Be it Jantar Mantar, and in fact, Jantar Mantar is nothing but a stick. If you see one among our
Yes.
books, in anaadi.org/IKSCD or IKS books, there is a book in which there's an activity. All you need to use is a pencil, sharp pencil and a line. And you can observe shadows and do all the calculations that you want to do. It is there available. You can see some among these facets. Very nice pedagogical techniques are there. In an introductory class, only some content was able to, but you are right. I mean, we have very nuanced civilization, very scientific temperament. We have had pursuits of science in multi-dimensional ways. All this, as educators, we should bring to our children. Do more educational research on many of these dimensions. Bring all this to our children.
And also the Konark temple, where you just mentioned, right, the line, the pencil and the shadow, that would be clearly depicted, where you put one thread, you put one what do you call, the broomsticks needle in that, and then you keep rotating it, and then you find the shadow and you calculate the time. Beautiful. Yes. Sir, your lecture was very good. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Any more questions, please? Sir, I think no more questions. Like, I just like to add upon, the way you really explained, sir, the virtual images. It was really wonderful. And then we know that this Vedic mathematics, when you're explaining the Pythagoras theorem, how that bow and arrow came, it was really wonderful, sir. We know everything, but we know that calculations are involved in while constructing this bow and arrow. But you just in a simple manner, the way you have showed us was really very interesting, and it was amazing, sir. And all these days, tithis and all, I was knowing, we follow very early in the morning when we are praying to God, we are supposed to tell all. We will be telling, every time the rashis will be, every month the same rashis will be repeating, from Paurnami, Amavasya to Ekadashi and all those things. Paurnami, Amavasya, how they really, the rashis will be changing, and then tithis will be changing. And it was so wonderfully explained in a simple manner. It was really very nice. And then the best part is, still I did not understand those squares, sir. I was observing it, but probably because I'm not from maths background or something like that. I think at this point, what I felt is like, we need to really study a lot and how important is Vedic mathematics. I think once we know Vedic mathematics, calculations of all these things will be very easy for us. Like, with this mathematics, what we have in modern mathematics, with that to relate it to Indian knowledge system, I think it is bit difficult. But when you know Vedic mathematics and modern mathematics and relating it to Indian knowledge system, I think that will be easily simplified. The way you have explained, I thought there is a connection between Vedic mathematics, modern mathematics, and Indian knowledge system. It was really beautifully explained, sir. Now I request my colleague Durgesham to add upon few. He wants to add few things and then tell vote of thanks. I request my colleague Dr. G. Durgesham, Assistant Professor, Department of Education. It's over to you, Durgesh.
Yeah, thank you so much, madam, and thank you, Acharya ji. Really, it is a wonderful session. All the participants really they become the Chaitanyam with your wonderful that Acharya Chaitanya ji's words and also the preachings and teachings through this wonderful session on that here science and technology and Vedic mathematics and astrology. Really, Guruji, all the participants across this colleges of Telangana, teacher education colleges, in their respective colleges, they are watching, including students also. That every participants they feel they are in that astronauts like Sunita Williams and also that Kalpana Chawla, like they visualized like we are showing and all that sun setting and sun rising and all these things. So through this they got inspiration to study and also look into that research on these areas and so with this on behalf of the Department of Education, Usmania University, and the organizers, and on behalf of all the participants and also the teacher education colleges of jurisdiction under Usmania University, we express our wholehearted thanks to you and namaskar to you, and thank you very much, Guruji. And we will expect the same academic journey with you in the very near future also. And we will receive your wonderful inputs among our scholars and recently one of our scholars has done on this Indian curricula system. Maybe he will approach you and to learn many things and receive from your inputs. Guruji, thank you so much. Pranam. Pranam. Thank you, Madam Ji. Over to you.
Participants, we have kept on in the chat box the Google form for the feedback. So kindly fill that and mail it us. Feedback form in the chat box. Thank you, Guruji. Thank you so much.
I think the feedback form has come only as a message to me. If Kishore sir can post it for all, it has come as a direct message.
Ain't Raju? So, Guru.
Now it has come.
You're not able to. Even we are able to hear you.
Yes, yes.
Yeah, already is posted. Already is posted. Second time again.
Is there, then our participants are requested to know your mail ID. If it is there, then
Your mail ID. We were, Raju, we are not able to hear and
yeah, Guruji, our participants are requesting to know your mail ID to contact with you.
Sure. MAIL mail at anaadi.org. I'm accessible through that, G. I'm posting.
It's my kind request to all the participants, just go through the Anaadi Foundation website. You will see a lot of things. Specifically, yesterday only they launched a 40 video library for the sake of children. It's a wonderful contribution by the Anaadi Foundation. You please go through that. I think that will be very much useful for your students. You can transact and you can use it that to create an effective and simplify the classroom situation. You please go through that Anaadi Foundation website and you feel so happy. And I need to express a special thanks to our Brataji. Really, there is no words at all. There is no words at all. It's a heartful thanks to Anaadi Foundation. And special thanks to our department, our authorities. Really, they given a nice opportunity to listen all these things. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Ji. Namaste, namaste, namaste. Thanks a lot. I'll end the live stream here for all, Ji.
Yeah. I request all the participants kindly motivate more teacher educators to participate because we have more 2 days only. And coming day, there is a very big activities going. You will see that on second day. That means last day. You please use it. Madam will announce very soon. Thank you.
Thank you.